welcome back to a fresh episode of Under the Hood by FastFWD, and today we have two guests. Of course, we have the newly launched Tata Altroz, but we also have the man responsible for designing it, Ulharik, who is the global head of design at Tata Motors. Welcome to the show.
Good to see you. Thank you.
So, Martin, congratulations on the successful launch. And a lot of people have the Altroz on their short lists here in India because we are such a fan of the hatchback body style.
Yes.
So, would you like to first give us the highlights before I start asking you more questions about the design and so much?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very significant upgrade to the Altroz. It's unmistakably an Altroz.
Yep.
But at the same time, I wanted to improve just the perception of what this car is. It was always a premium hatch. So when you say premium, it's about quality, it's about technology and features. So improving all of those things, whether it's in the front, the rear, the interior, the lamps, the technology, and then just making the design more modern and fashionable.
And these LED headlamps, of course, they bring much more high definition to the front of the vehicle, as I can see here. But I'm also seeing the placement of the LED fog lamps here. And these are reminding me of what is going on with the much bigger Tata offerings these days.
Yes.
Is that intentional like that, or does it have some other functions to it as well?
It's both. You might remember the 45X concept. It's quite a few years ago. It had exactly the same light layout. At the time, we were, again, kind of parroting what was happening in a premium segment. And now we're basically offering it in a very strong price.
Okay.
But like you said, it changes the face of the car completely.
Yeah.
The technology, if you look at the attention to detail, the fluting, the plastics, and just these small headlamps, and plus the expression that it creates, when you look at it from a front view, it raises the product to an even higher level.
Am I right to, assume that this time around for the Altroz, we have a more focus on minimalistic design?
Yes.
Something modern like that?
Yeah, that's my basic philosophy. You can see that in the whole portfolio that I've created. I have a philosophy which is less is more, less complication. I think it makes the products more modern, more timeless, more futuristic. And it actually makes better build quality because there's less complexity.
Right. Let's walk on to the side profile of the vehicle and have a look here. Of course, the first thing that is catching my attention here are the flush door handles.
Yes.
And I understand that were also quite an engineering challenge. Is that right?
Yes, I mean, from a packaging point of view, we have to move the whole body side outboard to accommodate that packaging, but it does a lot in terms of changing the perception of the vehicle. It makes it more aerodynamic, more athletic, more flush. So it's well worth the effort.
That LED element also looks really nice.
Yeah, it's a nice little high-tech accent, isn't it?
And then you have these 16-inch alloy wheels. So, I mean, they are of course diamond cut, but they look like they belong on a dark edition Tata car.
Yes, I mean the reason...
Any particular reason why there is so much black and very little use of the metal?
I'll tell you right away, the wheels are too small. I would have preferred them to be bigger. And if I make the design of the rim black, it blends with the tire, so you don't see it. As soon as it's silver, it looks small. So I did it just from an optical point of view. And then the accents, they're very thin just to make it look optically as long as possible.
Now it makes sense because I was just sitting inside the room and I was looking at the vehicle from, a step below. And I was just hoping I wish it had chunkier and bigger wheels.
You're not the only one.
And of course, we also have the infinity LED tail lamp element now on the back side of the Altroz.
Yes.
Martin, I have to say that, with this is called Ember Gold, right?
Yes, yes.
So with this shade and the blacked out roof, it is already looking like an Altroz racer.
Oh, yeah.
Will there be a version coming soon?
I don't know if we need that Altroz racer. Now the mainstream product is actually giving you that character. I mean, first the color, this ember color, it's very modern. First of all, it has a lot of character and personality, but it's also what we call, it's almost like a flat porcelain, which is now very much like a premium color. It's not your traditional, like, metallic finish. And the DRL, I mean, we've seen with the Nexon, the Nexon has the X factor. And it becomes almost like a identifiable. When you see the vehicle at night, you know it's a Tata, and you know it's a Nexon. What we're hoping is now, first of all, it helps proportion and it makes the car look wider. And then a secondary read is actually, it just makes it look more high tech, and potentially it has the opportunity to become a down the road signature.
So just to highlight to our viewers, this is a continuation of what we have already seen, the X factor.
Yes, but in a different way,
in a different way.
For a different vehicle.
Okay. Okay, so now we're getting to experience the interiors of the new Altroz with Martin. And of course, the first thing you'll notice here are these 90-degree opening doors. These are kind of a USP of the Altroz, right?
Yeah, it always was. It was the first car we introduced it on. It's a very specific thing to the Indian market, you know, whether it's multi-generational, elderly getting in and out, ingress, egress, a woman wearing a sari. So it's quite market specific, and it's become, like you said, a kind of USP for the Altroz.
And of course, the ambience is also getting much more amped up because of this sunroof here.
Yeah, it's a combination of the sunroof. We made a much lighter interior. It makes the interior look more spacious. And
so is this like white, or is this
it's
a little gray?
It's a slight off-white. It's not pure white, but definitely it helps, lift the whole interior, make it more premium, and at the same time more spacious.
So Martin, of course, the entire dashboard here has been completely revamped in terms of the tech it is housing. How difficult was that?
It was quite challenging, because fundamentally the package is the old package. So, everything that's underneath it is fixed. So bringing the new technology, the TFT screen in front of the driver, the infotainment, and also just making it all more premium, making it look more horizontal, adding the mood lighting, which adds, again, it's the sum of its parts. And all of it combined together with the fit and finish and the attention to detail on materials, plastics, finishes, a lot more soft material on the armrest, the introduction of an armrest with the center console. All of these things, add up.
And also about the seats. In your briefing, we heard that there has been something done to the seats. What's that
we did a lot of design work on the seat. The first is ergonomics. It's just like, better thigh support, better bolster support, better comfort, in the thing. So there's a lot of ergonomic analysis that goes, into it. And then, of course, just making it into a nice looking seat. It feels comfortable, but looks comfortable as well.
Correct. And of course, I can see that these are fabric seats.
Yes.
So they are much more breathable in our conditions as well.
Yes.
Now, before we go back out, Martin, I would just like to mention that I can see that all the functions for the aircon here are now touch capacitive. Am I right?
That's right.
And then we also have the latest generation of Tata steering wheel. This looks really nice. What's so special about it? How do you differentiate it from others?
Well, I mean, this is our corporate steering wheel and HVAC switches. I mean, the fundamental thing was, when we designed this direction, we wanted it to look like a gaming device. Actually, that's the inspiration that the designer had. He said this is the interface the driver has with the vehicle, and it should be like a controller for a PlayStation. And we thought that was a fantastic analogy, and that actually gave birth to the whole aesthetics of it. It's also got the illuminated logo, and of course, some switches are capacitive and some are actually, analog, depending on function. Biggest challenge was to have an illuminated steering logo on an airbag steering wheel. From an engineering packaging.
Now that you've told us this story, I'm sure in the comments many people will start asking for haptic feedback as well.
That's probably the next step, isn't it?
So that was all about the newly launched Altroz. It is modern, minimal and cutting edge ever than before, and Martin was kind enough to walk us through the vehicle. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I would like to remind you to stay tuned to the Fast Forward channel, and if you haven't subscribed, then subscribe, because you're also going to be seeing the comprehensive drive review of this very premium hatchback on our channel. So until next time, this is Amber Banerjee signing out.